Good evening. I've got Andrew back at me here where we're having a bit of banter then. He nearly caught us at it as well, which was very funny. He's back in tomorrow. Got my whipping boy back. Everyone keeps saying, oh, you're having a go at somebody else now. Andrew's not there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not having a go. I'm just having a bit of fun. If you watched the 6 o'clock show last night, did you watch it, Andrew? Hilarious. Oh. We were all telling jokes and it got a little bit out of hand, I'm not going to lie, but it was very funny. Anyway, welcome to live shopping, 6 o'clock. Last show of Tuesday, which is ScanNCut, which is fantastic. Now, I've had a very frustrating afternoon, I'm not going to lie, because Canvas Workspace kept going down, and I'm like, no, you're not doing maintenance when I need you to work, please. Anyway, I managed to work it out, which is good. So we're going to have a look at the Tattered Lace, traditionally Tattered Lace, a download that launched today, but I cannot do this show without telling you about the other download that launched, which is absolutely phenomenal value for money. So first of all, I'm going to tell you where you can watch us and how to shop, and then we're going to get into it. So you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on highlightcrafts.com. If you're going to shop with us on either of our social media platforms, we're going to show you a product, and that product will have a code. And when you're ready to purchase that item, all you're going to do is type shop and that code into the comments underneath the video, so you don't miss a second of what I'm going to teach you, which is really cool. Then we're going to send you a message that says thank you very much for your order, because we appreciate every single one of them. And in that message there will be a link. You're going to click that link. That's going to take you to checkout on highlightcrafts.com. Now with downloads, the sooner you check out, the sooner you can start crafting, because it's instant. But it's not instant unless you check out your baskets. Just saying. Then please make sure that if you haven't got an account with Highlight Crafts, that you open one, because it's free and it automatically makes you a club member. If you have an account, make sure you're logging in, because then you get your extra club benefits. So further discount, loyalty points, and on a basket spend over £35, you get free shipping. If you're going to shop with us on our website, which is highlightcrafts.com, which is what I do, and I prefer doing that. I have YouTube on my TV. And then I just add to basket, because all the products are down the side of your screen. So add them to your basket, and then you'll get a little red shopping bag up here at the top. That's where all your goodies are. And when you're ready to check out, click on that basket, and that will take you through that checkout process as well, which is fabulous. Are we doing a spin, Andrew? We haven't got it with us, have we? Is it next door? Oh, are we going to do that? Are we going to do that? Right. Oh no, Diane. Yeah, Diane. Somebody will bring it in for us. So we'll do a spin. Once Andrew's made the code, I'll let you know what it is. Right, I want to jump into this, because this is extraordinary value for money. So as many of you know, we used to do Tattered Lace USBs, and they launched, and their launch price was $79.99. And you know what? They were worth every penny of that money because of the content. So what we've done is we've gone back into the archives for you, and we have bought you the 4 shaped card downloads, or USBs, as digital downloads now. So instead of being $79.99 each, you're getting all 4 for $49.99. Now the first one I'm going to show you, which was number 9, I haven't put my sheets back in order. Hi, thank you. We got a spin. Got to spin the wheel. Lovely. Where do you want it? On here, please. I'll move some of these up. Pop it on there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Look at that
Good
team.
evening, everyone.
Here's Diane, look. Still here.
Yeah.
We've all had chocolate cake and cream today, haven't we?
Well, I have my chocolate cake with my fruit, so mine doesn't count.
No.
We worked that out.
And chocolate's a plant. And
Yeah, exactly.
plants.
So we worked out that with the coconut yogurt and the fruit and the chocolate cake, I think I had about 11 of my 5 a day.
There you go. So you go for
So
tomorrow.
I'm sort of chippy tonight.
Right, so what we've done, this first one that I'm about to show you was our fastest selling and biggest selling USB ever, because it was the first card shapes one that we'd done. So this is number 9. So if you already have these on USBs, then you don't need to buy this download. If you've got 2 of them or 3 of them on USBs, it's up to you. If you've got one of them on a USB, for the cost of this, I would absolutely buy it to get the other 3. So you're going to get all of your shape cards. So you've got everything from Nativity Snow Globe, your monumental dies. These were huge dies at the time that created these fabulous cards that gave you a lot of space to decorate. You've got side steppers, label shapes, accordion cards, shutter cards, pentagon boxes, picture windows, secret sliders, screen cards, reindeer snow globe scenes, side stepper cards, small steppers, snowflake crafter cards, loads and loads and loads of different projects. And do you know what? Each folder, so each one of these squares, 25 pence. 25 pence, I know, because you're getting 201. This is the second page of that first USB, our biggest selling one. I can remember doing the show in the Create and Craft studio, the old Create and Craft studios with Martin Parker, and everybody was like, whoa, what's going on? The word is what, Andrew? Win. Right, so type win into the comments now with a chance to get that spin the wheel. And Martin looked at me halfway through the double show and went, what are we going to do in the second half? I went, I don't know. And then Stephanie came in. Luckily, she was still in the building. She was like, right, let's do extended dispatch. It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. So you've then got your snow globe scene itself. You've got the cherished card shape. You've got a decorative center stepper. You've got a diamond fold. You've got a diamond shutter card. You've got all these different cutting files, but what's wonderful is things like this, where you get these detailed panels, the mats and layers for all your cards, because all the mats and layers come with it. So that you could blow up and it could become a stencil, it could become a drawing file, a cutting file, a foiling file, an embossing file, a paper piercing file, all of those different amazing things that we do with ScanNCut. This is number 11. And this is one of my favourites because it has these frames on, and I love these frames from Tattered Lace. They're absolutely fabulous. You've got a jigsaw on there. You've got nested envelopes. You've got ornamental easel cards. You've got oval frames. You've got your panorama concertina. You've got pop-up words. You've got pop-up letters to make your own words. You've got a little 3D racing car. You've got a rose gateway, all of these different elements, a stationery box, a steampunk pop-up box, a twist and pop card. So easy, but you can have them in the size that you want as long as it fits within the constraints of the mat. This is your second one. So you've got a 3D shoe, a toolbox, and then all of these amazing different card shapes, different projects for your ScanNCut, which is just extraordinary. I love it. I think it's absolutely fabulous. You've even got different jigsaws on there. So you've got smaller ones, you've got circle ones, you've got all sorts. That is absolutely amazing. I think that's fantastic. Tick-tock rocking clock. You've got a Voyager in there. You've got a wallet. You've got a storybook that has that traditional font, happily ever after, once upon a time, and the end. That is going to be amazing if you've got little ones in your house. Then we've got another pattern list. So you've got more. So you've got the baby cradle. You've got the Art Deco stepper. You've got 3D strawberry. You've got a card envelope. You've got a chestnut rocking horse. Oh, rocking horse is here, Andrew. It's been waiting for you. You've got your cut, craft and create set 4. There's an old vintage rocking horse in Andrew's room and it freaks him out. You've got noodle boxes, notebooks, offset triangles, all of these files, and each square that you're looking at is costing you 25 pence. That is amazing value for money. So if you want this one, it is shop shape and it's $49.99. Right, a couple of other things I want to show you and then we'll go over to demo. So we're going to go into traditionally Tattered Lace. So this is the download that launched today with Tattered Lace. And there's a few things I want to teach you regarding this because it's slightly different to normal because the detail and the amount of paths. So a path is a point from where the designer draws a line to it stops. And some of the CM machines will only read 300 paths. So we needed to adjust it. Now, rather than taking bits out, we've done it in a slightly different way, which is what I want to teach you tonight, just to show you how you can still do all those amazing things with it. We've also got the vintage lace borders, which we're going to make into panels as well, and we're going to create matte layers for them. You've got your ornate fundamental square. Now, there's 7 in the dies. You've got over 250. Because you can resize them all. You've got your nested wooden signs, which are great for your sentiments, and you've got your florals in there as well. You also get Minecraft Studio with this, so you can change the colours of these and have them digitally. You can cut them out of Mylar and use them as stencils to emboss. You've got all your floral elements in here as well that you can have a play around with. You're then going to get 8 lacy backgrounds, which are absolutely fabulous and colour picked to work perfectly with the reflection artwork. And then you've got your reflections for your dies, which isn't relevant to us because we get the reflections for our SVG files. So shop download is going to get you the SVG and Minecraft Studio for $22.99. Now, every time you take one of those elements and change it, that value gets better and better and better and better, and that's what we're going to focus on in this hour. One more thing, or Andrew might want me to do a couple more things. We're going to do Shabby. Okay, so we're going to do Shabby, Minecraft Studio. Now, these were, honestly, I walked into Stephanie's office probably about 2 weeks ago now, and I went, where are those from? Because they were the most beautiful rice papers I had ever seen on her desk. I was like, please tell me we're stocking those. She said, we've just printed them on the fabric printer in the warehouse. I was like, what? So she brought you the physical rice papers. But then I said to her, you know, if I was buying these as patterned papers, I'd be buying 5 or 6 pads of them because I think they're absolutely beautiful. I said, but can we not do it as Minecraft Studio? And she looked at me and she went, yeah, go on then. So we did. So you've got 9 A4 rice papers, and then you've got 12 of the smaller postcard size, which are absolutely beautiful. I've used them in this to decorate this little book. So this is a little envelope that you can pop a card in. I've used it on the back to create my own pyramid, which I showed you earlier on today. We've used it on this one to create this oval stepper card, which we made earlier on as well. And they're absolutely exquisite. So Shop Shabby, Minecraft Studio, this is about quality artwork. So you're going to get all of those that you can print off time and time again. And they don't have to be printed on rice papers. They can be printed on your regular paper, your acetate, your vellum, all those different materials. You're getting all the flower heads independently, which is super exciting because you can really start to play around with these. Then you're also going to get more flower heads going into the buds in here, so you can build your own compositions up. Then you've got your butterflies and the start of your foliage. You've got another one with your foliage in there, and then you've got your 8 backgrounds in here as well, which are absolutely fabulous. So the ability to be able to create your own, which is super exciting, right? And on Minecraft Studio, if you create a composition and print it off, you can then turn that composition black by taking the brightness right over to the left. This will be something that we do in the club. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute too, because that's really exciting. And then scanning the black one to create a cutting file, scanning the coloured one and lay the cutting file over the top and cut it out. So you don't need to sit there and fussy cut if you don't want to. I quite like fussy cutting now and again. There's something quite therapeutic about a pair of scissors for me. So Shop Shabby, Minecraft Studio, $9.99. Don't miss out on that one. That is an absolute bargain for what you're getting in there because that artwork is sensational. Right, so club. Let me talk to you about the ScanNCut club. In fact, let's go over here and then I can have a seat because I've been stood up a lot today. So the club. So Stephanie decided last week she was going to, well, she decided a while ago she was going to do a painting club. And she launched it. And then I went into the office and I went, I want a club. Because I wanted a club for such a long time. I wanted to be able to do something like a subscription-based club. And this is going to kind of be a little bit like that. So it's ScanNCut. It doesn't matter which model of machine you've got. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are or whether you've never taken it out of the box. Everybody is welcome to the club. It's Shop Club. It's right, yeah, Shop Club. It's $29.99 for 3 months. I know, right? £10 a month. But you're not just going to get a class, you're going to get SVG downloads. So we're going to create files specifically for the club. So they will be unique to you. They won't ever be sold anywhere else. So these are really, really bespoke to the classes. We're going to discuss lots of different things like what different materials you need, what settings you need on a CM machine, all those different things. But the best bit is you're going to get a unique email address. So you'll be able to send your messages or your questions to that email address. I'll be able to look at them and collate them all, and then we can bespoke the classes around what you want to learn. Because if you want to learn how to do something, I'll guarantee there's another half a dozen people that want to learn the same thing. And there's no such thing as a silly question. So please don't ever sit there and go, I can't ask her that, she'll think I'm crazy. Absolutely not. If you don't know the answer to something, it's not a silly question. The silly bit is if you don't ask the question, because then you'll never know. You're also going to be invited into a closed Facebook group where we can all get together and chat, and we can all give hints and tips and lots of advice to each other and just enjoy each other's creations. Because when you're in a group of creative people, you bounce all those ideas off each other, and it's a lovely way to build that community and make friends. You know, the number of people we have come into Doncaster to the workshops on the Friday, on the Friday, that have met each other before, it's just wonderful. And I love that. I love the fact that they meet up in a location. Well, you'll have a Facebook group. On top of that, once a month in the evening, we are going to do a live class. So it's going to be a live scan and cut clinic where you can drop in, drop out, and just go, right, I need to know this, Mel, please. I'm struggling with this. Can you just recap it for me? You will be able to watch those classes back over and over and over again. And now I've got Andrew and me here, I can actually ask him. We can do it on YouTube, can't we, Andrew? We have a closed group. We can have a secret class on YouTube. That's what we used to do, though, with our classes, right? If you bought a class, yes, that. Andrew's going, yes, sort of. We need to discuss it, but we'll make it work for you either way. So, Shop Club, $29.99. It's going to get you 3 months worth of classes. Now, if you've got your machine singing and dancing and you know everything about it, maybe that's not for you. But I will say this, the £10 that you're going to pay a month, the SVG files will be worth more than that. So maybe you just join for the SVG files that are exclusive every month. Entirely up to you. Maybe you're part way into your journey and think, I don't need to know the absolute basics. Maybe you're going to join in month 4, 5 and 6. So it's entirely up to you when you join, whether you dip in and out. But that Facebook group will only be if you are subscribed at that time to those lessons. Tomorrow, at 11 o'clock, we are launching the Cadence Club. 12 o'clock, Sheila? 12 o'clock. Well done, Katie. See, I'm rubbish. At 12 o'clock, myself and David are launching the Cadence Club. So make sure you join in for that one as well. So 12 o'clock tomorrow. Right, shall we start doing some stuff? I think we should do some stuff. So first of all, I'm going to talk to you about the panel, okay? Because on a CM machine, because all the different machines, so the CM 600 and 300 reads, I want to say, is it £600 or is it £300? I can't remember whether it's 600, right. The big full panel was over 600 paths, okay? So we broke it down into rows. And the reason we broke it down into rows is so you can play around with it, but also you can duplicate it and make it whatever size you want it to be. So 2 rows, 4 rows, 6 rows, 5 rows, 9 rows, whatever you want, okay? So if we go into the USB, and I'm going to import it from a machine. So we'll go to the classic lace panel, and you've got 2 different ones. You've got one that has 1 row, which is the one that we're going to use. And then you also have one that has 3 rows. So if you've got a higher spec machine like the CM900 or an SDX that reads more paths, you can use that one. If you've got the CM that reads 600 paths, you can do this one. And this is what we used to do with the Tattered Lace USBs. So we'd take the die and they'd have to take out as many lines or shapes as it took to enable it to cut on a ScanNCut. I didn't want them to do that with this because I didn't want to spoil that design. We took out the line detail, which is just like little cut lines, because that doesn't really matter as much on an SVG file as it does on a die. On a die, that's what pushes into the cardstock and gives it that rounded edge. So we did it this way for a reason. So if you're wondering why, I'm thinking, well, I'm not getting the big panel, it's because of that reason. But you can make your own, which actually is really exciting. So the first thing that we're going to do is this is all grouped together. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that we can see it a little bit better on the screen, like that. And then I'm going to save it into the cloud. So I'm going to save into the cloud. Now, if you've got a machine that isn't Wi-Fi enabled, what you're going to do is save it onto your USB, pop your USB into your laptop, and import it from there. Right, so in my projects now, with a bit of luck, if I refresh, that border should be there now. There we go. Okay, let's make it a little bit smaller. We don't quite need it that big because I want to get a few more rows in. So this is an interesting one, right? Because if we ungroup this, is it grouped or is it ungrouped? No, so we've just got the detail, okay? There's no outside edge on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an outside edge and then we're going to make a matte layer as we go along, okay? So this is a slightly different process because if you try and do too many at one go, it'll tell you there's too many paths, even for your high-spec machines. So this is what we do. First of all, we go to edit and we duplicate, okay? So we have 2 of them. And we're going to move that out of the way because that's going to be the main one that we're going to work with. On this one, what we're going to do is we're going to create a matte layer, all right? And the way to do that is we're going to go to edit and we're going to go to this offset function, okay? And we're going to ask it to do a 2mm outward offset line and delete the original, which is why we duplicated it in the first place. Now, this is going to be a lot of information. You can watch the show back, but this is the kind of thing we're going to do in the club once I take you into Canvas Workspace. And don't forget either, I'm learning new things all the time, which is brilliant. And I love that. I love the fact that still 9 years on, we're still learning because that's really exciting. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to edit and we're going to weld all those pieces together. And you can see just from looking at that, look how tiny little blue boxes there are on there. There's a lot of paths in this design. But this gives us our matte layer for our border. So if you just wanted to make it a border, you can do. If you want to extend that border, I have made sure that this pattern tessellates, okay? So I've made sure that if I duplicate that, I can put 2 next to each other and they will line up and be a continuous border. If it doesn't fit on your mat like that, you can ungroup this one and just have 2 of them or 3 of them or 1 of them. So you can make it the size, the length, the width, the height that you want it to be, which is super, super, super cool. Right, so we're going to start building our pattern now. So I've got this one. So I'm going to drop this underneath here. Tracy's bought the ScanNCut and she's looking forward to the club. Do you know what, Tracy? I'm really looking forward to the club. Probably for a different reason than you are, but I'm looking forward to it because it's going to really push my creativity and make me come up with different things every month that we're going to do. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to click on the bottom one and I'm going to nudge that up just 1 more space so that it matches. And what I'm doing, if I just zoom in, I'm going to show you where I'm looking. So when I look here, this little funny shape here is quite close to the small shape that's in the middle above it, that one there. So when I come down here, I want to make sure that it's the same in that next panel, which it is, it's there. So I've got that distance correct. So now what I want to do is I'm going to drag a box around both of those 2 and I'm going to group it together, okay? And then I'm going to zoom back out. Let's just take that back down to 35 so it's a little bit bigger, but not as big as that. Right, now then, we're going to do this bit as we go along as well. So I'm going to select the matte layer. And first of all, I'm going to see if it needs dividing. And dividing is where it punches all the little pieces through the main outside edge and leaves the waste behind. That didn't need dividing, okay? So it now sees that as one shape. It doesn't see it as the outside edge with all the pieces sat on top. So I'm going to duplicate it. So I've got 2. I love doing stuff like this. Honestly, I could spend all my days doing this. I think it's fabulous. And if it can't get something to work, I will stick at it until I do. So I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm going to line this up over the top like that, okay? Then I'm going to bring the next border in, and I'm going to line that above there as well. So let me drop that one into place. So now you can see, let me just move that across a bit. That needs to just nudge a little bit over, I think. And you just got to play around with it, and you can zoom in if you find this bit a little bit difficult for your eyes. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I'm going a little bit cross-eyed there. Let's just drop that into place there. Am I there? Down one. That's it. Got it. Right. So while I've got this one selected, I'm going to press Shift on my keypad, and I'm also going to select the other one, and I'm going to weld those two together. Okay? Because it's just selecting the top two, which hopefully are the outside edges. Okay? So now I've got the matte layer for that. Okay? So if I wanted that, you can go ahead and do that. But you can then keep going now, which is fabulous. Elaine is asking, will there be written instructions with the club? There won't be written instructions for every step that I teach you, because I'll be here till 3 weeks next. Well, I'll be here till 2027 if I had to do that. But if we do a project, yes, there will be, because I know that some people are visual learners and some people are like instructions. And the difference is big, really, because you can watch a video, but you've got to keep pausing it. So if we do a specific project, yes, there will be written instructions. And I'm really excited about it. I know it's adding a more work to my workload, which is already a lot, but the very fact that I've got the opportunity to help you get your machines out the boxes, and I want everybody that's got one to be able to use it the way that I use it, because that's when you get the most out of it, and that's really exciting. And if you break things down into small bite-sized chunks, that's the best way to learn. And I teach the way that I learn. So I learn the next bit that I need to learn to be able to achieve the next bit that I want to achieve. That's how I teach. So, and it's going to be a bit more in-depth than the free stuff that's on YouTube. And I'm learning all the time. So there's going to be lots of different stuff, and it's really exciting. Right, so let's duplicate this now. So we've got two of these. So we just duplicate that, and we're going to bring this one down here now, okay? And we're going to just slot that one in. Oh, I did that twice. I was quick there, wasn't I? Right, I'll get rid of that one. Don't need that one. I'm going to drop this into where I think it fits. So bearing in mind that looks right to me. And then I'm going to grab both of those, and I'm going to align them to the left or the right. It doesn't matter, as long as they're on one side. And then we're going to edit, and we're going to group those together. Okay, now if you want the border, you're going to drop that one back over the top like so. Get that in place like that. Then we're going to go to edit and duplicate that. And this is what I mean when you buy a download for 20 whatever it is. How much is it, Katie? Just have a look on my list. Yes.
With the MCS,
it's $22.99. It's what?
$22.98.
$22.99, I think.
29.
But you're not far off, kid. Now, this is where your value is, right? This is the value of what you're buying, because as a ScanNCut user, you can create all these amazing things. Right, so Shift again on the keyboard, pick up the other outside edge, go to Edit, and weld both together. How cool is that? It's super, super easy. So now we've got our matte layer with all those beautiful elements inside, which will show through. You've got your detail cut with all of that, but you can also create, we go to Edit and do another 2mm. In fact, I'm going to just duplicate that first, so I keep that one. So we'll duplicate that. And you can keep going. You will get to a point where it won't be able to download it because it's too many paths. I'm just putting that out there. So if you get to that stage, that's normal. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to create a 2mm outward offset line. I'm going to delete the original because I've duplicated it. And there you are. So now if I select all, so edit and select all, when I then align these centrally vertically and centrally horizontally, they will all sit perfectly on top of each other like that. How cool is that? Even Katie's got a smile on her face at that. Even Katie. And that is from one row. So you've created all your design, your matte layer, and then your card blank. I mean, it's just brilliant. Right, what do we want to do now? Can I carry on, Andrew? Okay, we're getting a lot of questions about how the club is going to work. What kind of questions, please? How does it work? Okay, so the club is, how does it work? That's a very good question. So we're doing a ScanNCut club. I am on a mission. I've been on a mission for years to get everybody getting their ScanNCut out of the box. And those of you that have got it out of the box, because you say to me all the time, it shows I've got it out of the box, I might be switched it on. So out of the box, switched on and being used, okay? And I've never had the opportunity to be able to do it. And with everything that went on with Create and Craft, we've had to get to the business stable before we can start doing things like this because we're super busy. So Stephanie launched a painting club and I was like, right, I want a ScanNCut club. So every month you will get a digital download of SVG files that I will have worked with one of our graphic designers to design so that we can get the most out of that file. Bit like this, okay? So a bit like this border that I've just shown you, or other things. And a lot of the classes will be project-based because the best way and the most interesting way to learn your machine is to make something. And I've learned that along the way. And Stephanie said something really interesting to me. She said, I watch your education and your education's brilliant, but it's too much. It's too much information to take in at once. I said, right, okay. She said, so I want you to start right at the beginning. I want you to go right from the basics. I want you to include both machines. So the CM machine, I'll explain what pressures and blade depths you need for all the materials that you can cut. If you've got a material that you can't get to cut, I'm going to tell you how to make it cut it because I know those settings inside out. If I can't get it, if I give you the settings and they don't work, I'm going to get you to send me a piece of material and I'll work it out for you. Because I'm determined that everybody's going to get the most out of their ScanNCuts because it's really important. For a lot of people out there, you've done the most difficult bit, which is affording to buy one. Now I want to make sure that you get it out of the box. So $29.99 is going to get you 3 months worth of classes with SVG files that will be unique to that club. They will never be sold separately. So you will have those unique designs, which again is exciting. You'll also get access to a specific email address. I don't know what that email address is yet, but once you get your welcome pack, you'll get all that information. And throughout the month, you'll be able to send me all your questions. How do I cut faux leather, Mel? Do I put it with the leather facing down or the fabric facing down? How do I cut fabric without stabilizing it? All these different things. How do I weld two shapes together? How do I make a gatefold card? How do I get the blade to score? All these different things that we've touched on but haven't gone in depth with. And there's still loads and loads of stuff that I've got to teach you, which is super exciting. So you will then get also invited to join a closed Facebook page. So it won't be one of those Facebook pages where we get those people that don't like us going in and causing friction. It won't be that. You will be invited to come in because Andrew said he's going to kick them out. Oh, we've had a whole thing going on this weekend, Andrew. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. So you'll be able to go in there. It's a safe space. You'll be able to go in without any worry about those people, and we'll have a great time and we'll share inspiration and education and information and all that things that we used to do in the magazines as well, right? So we're going to do that. And then once a month in an evening, it'll probably start about 7:15 till 8:15 or however long it needs to be. And the classes will be however long they need to be. And we will do a live ScanNCut clinic where you can send in your projects, you can tell me what problems you're having and we can sort it out because I think that's really important. But I will be in that Facebook group and that's a big thing for me. I know, right? I do have a Facebook page now. It's Mel at Highlight Crafts. So you can join that, but this will be a closed group and it will be just for club members. So if you subscribe for month 1 to 3, and then in months 4 to 6 you decide you don't want to be in it anymore, you won't have access to that Facebook group. It's only for people whose subscription, if you like, is live. But we'll also do lots of projects, and that's the exciting bit. So we'll make the card blank, we'll design an envelope, we'll do the flowers, we'll cut the sentiments, we'll do all those amazing things that we do. Even if you know the basics, it'll be worth joining for the SVG files that you're going to get every month. I'm just going to put that out there, because if I was sitting there now and somebody else was teaching, I'd be like, well, I kind of know most of that stuff, but I get it for the SVGs. And for that access to that unique email address, and for that close Facebook group. And £10 a month, I think, is just a fabulous opportunity, and and we wanted to make it really affordable so everybody could afford it. And then if you decide after 3 months you've got the basics, you know what you're doing, you're off on your journey, absolutely amazing. But I'm happy because you've got it out of the box and you're using it, and that's what the club is about. And it really is. Honestly, I can't tell you how many years I've wanted to do this, but now it's just a fabulous opportunity for us all to be able to get together and do that, which is great. Right, so let me show you something else, because I've done this a few times. Now, at any point, you can go to project and you can press the plus and you can save what's on your screen. Okay, so you don't ever have to go through that again, because it's now done. So I would do one with 1, I do one with 2, I do one with 3, etc., etc. Right, what I want to do is I'm actually going to go onto the borders. I've just changed my mind because I want to show you these, because this is really cool. So this is the same, this is still the traditional tattered lace one, but we're going to come to the machine first. So we're going to import these files, and there's a reason for this. So I'm going to retrieve the information from the USB. We're going to go into, if I go down one, we're going to go into, where are you? Vintage lace borders. Right, we're going to go into the detail cuts, and I'm going to use the large one just because I can, not for any other reason than that. So I've got these 2 lacy borders. Now the first thing we're going to do is group this one together because it's not grouped. So we're going to edit it. We're going to multiple select part of the mat. We're going to drag over that lacy border there, because we just want to group that one together. So we're going to go Object, Edit and Group. And then this one's already grouped together, and I want to rotate it anti-clockwise 90 degrees. And I want to rotate that one anti-clockwise 90 degrees. And then I'm going to duplicate them both. And I'll explain why I'm doing this on my machine in a minute when we've got it into Canvas Workspace. But for now, I'm just duplicating both of them. I'm going to rotate one of them 180 degrees so it's upside down. And then I'm going to rotate the other one 180 degrees so it's upside down. Then I'm going to press OK, and again, and again, and I'm going to press Save, and I'm going to save it into the cloud. It's telling me there's a group pattern. I'm not bothered about that because I can ungroup them in Canvas. This is super cool. I'm so happy I discovered this afternoon. Right, so we're going to refresh. All right, so when you've got Canvas Workspace open and you save something into it, you need to refresh it. So I'm going to bring this in now. The reason that I've done this and I've rotated them first is because if I rotated it in Canvas Workspace, in this web app version, I don't know what it's like on the PC version, but I am going to try and get my head around that, although it drove me crazy yesterday because it was really slow. I don't know whether it was maintenance on that one or not, but it drove me crazy yesterday. If I rotated it in Canvas and then I tried to weld things together, what happens is it unrotates it, and I don't know why. If you send it in to the machine rotated, it doesn't do that, which is super cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this. We're going to edit it and we're going to ungroup it. And it's very similar to what we've just done with the panel, but you're doing it with the borders. So we're going to ungroup both of them. So we're going to move the outside edges and we're going to delete them. So you've got this now as a border. Okay, so if you wanted a border on your card, you've got that now. And let's see if we can create inward offset lines. So let's go to our concentric circles. Let's create a 2mm inward offset line, but leave the original as it is. So now you've got your mats and layers of that. Okay, now your original will always stay selected. And I always create my offsets from the original because it gives you a truer shape. So this time we could do a 4mm, 4mm inward and leave that one as it is. And we'll get that. So you've got mats and layers for your borders now. So if you just want a border for your sentiments, you've got that from the outside edge of one of the borders that you're paying $22.99 for, with all the other things that you can do. So those three then you can save. Now, what you could also do is go and get the middle one, which is that one, and delete that. And then you've got a border, an outline of a border. So play around with the shapes. Right, and we're going to do exactly the same with the top one. Okay, we're going to get rid of that one. So we're going to make our own border now. So I'm going to grab all of these. Now there's still a couple of detail lines in this one. So we're going to delete that. Let me just zoom in. So I'm making sure, because you can't divide a detail line. Oh, they've left the detail lines in. Oh, that's all right, because it worked with what I was doing before. Oh, okay, so that's good. All right, that's a bonus. I like that. I like it when we get a bonus. Right, so 50%, let's do this. Right, so we're going to grab all the detail here, like this, and we're going to group that, so edit and group. And then we're going to drag all this detail across here, and we're going to group that, so edit and group. And it's really amazing how this looks different. Now then, you can go right up to, let's see if we can get over those ovals there. No, it's going to overlap. So we're going to do it to about there, I think. So let's do that. And we're going to grab both of these pieces and we're going to align them to the left or the right. It doesn't matter, or centrally. It really doesn't matter as long as they're together. And then we're going to group that together. Okay, so now we've got our panel. I'm going to move that a little bit further up, I think. So let me just ungroup that again. And you just have to play around with it, and that's all right. You know, it's part of the journey, it's part of the fun. Where's that little circle come from there? Oh, bear with. There they are. Right, I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to get rid of that row of those little ovals and see what we get. Let's delete that. And then let's put this back in place. So let's pop that now. I can get it closer. And I will spend hours doing stuff like this because I love it. So let's align it again. Let's align centrally, vertically, like that, so it's in the middle. And then let's group those two together. Right, okay, so we've now got something that looks completely different than when we started. So now what we're going to do is duplicate that, and we're going to create that offset again. And that offset function is brilliant. If there's too many paths or there's lines like there is in that, it won't do it on your machine. So you'll have to come into Canvas to do it. And that's just the way that it is. Okay, so we just have to get over it, or I have to get over it and get on with it. So we're going to do a 2mm outward offset line. We're going to delete the original and we're going to press OK. Now imagine this done with your piercing tool, or with your foiling tool, or with your embossing tool. I actually really like that. I'd like that drawn because it reminds me a bit of spirograph. Remember when you were a kid and you had that spirograph? It was a little bit like that. I know most of those were circles or squares, but I love the overlaps in it. I think it's really pretty. That on parchment would look amazing. But we're going to grab all of that and we're going to weld it. All right, so we're going to go to edit and weld. Now, you might get to a stage where there's too many and it goes, it can't weld it, and it will come up with an error message. If it does that, we will do them individually like we did with the main panels. So there's options. This is taking quite a while, so it might come up with an error message, and you do have to be patient with it and wait, but it's got a lot of shapes there. Oh, it's done it. There you go, look. So that's perfect. So now, if I grab that and that, so if I select both of those and I go to edit and align them centrally vertically and centrally horizontally, it's then going to put that in the middle of there. How beautiful is that, right? So that shows you what it's going to look like as a border, but we can do a double one. So let's do what we did before. So let's duplicate this. So we've got two. So edit and do two. And this is, I mean, it was interesting this morning when we did the Tattered Lace show because we had dies on, and Stephanie said to me afterwards, she said, I'm sure that a lot of our customers have converted to ScanNCut And I was like, well, do you know what? I think you're right, because there's so many different things that you can do, and dyes will always have their place, always have their place. But you get to a stage where you're like, okay, you know, I've got to store them all. That's the thing as well, isn't it? And dyes are fabulous, and especially with Tattered Lace, the dyes are beautiful because you get that almost embossed look, because it pushes the card into the die and it creates that curve. I think on something like Tattered Lace, that really makes the dies for me. But for your regular, you know, so it depends how much you're worried about that. Right, I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up these little ovals here, because they're just going to go over the top of each other if we don't. So I'm just pressing shift, picking up all 4, and then delete. Okay, I've got to explain to people that if you don't purchase 1 to 3 in the club now, you will still be able to join later on. You'll also be able to just go for 4, 5 and 6 if that's what you want to do. You don't have to start at the beginning to be able to join when you do. But if you want to start later, you can start later. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's your club, okay? We'll work around you, basically, is what we're saying. Right, I'm actually going to, am I going to remove this? I'm going to remove the circles from that one too, am I? See, decisions. This is when it gets difficult. Let me have a look. This is where I start to play around. I'm all right. I'm happy with that there, I think. Am I? No, I'm going to take them out. I am terrible for doing this, but honestly, this is how I learn, because I'm really nosy. I used to be really nosy, curious, I think, rather than nosy. And I want to know how things work and why it does it. Got myself in trouble a few times with that. Right, you need to type win, not spin, please, because we are going to spin that wheel. So it's win, not spin. I know we confuse you because we change it, don't we, for wheel to spin to win. It's very confusing. We should just have one code, shouldn't we, really? And then we're going to go to edit and group, just saying. I'm dropping a hint there, in case you're wondering. Never mind, it will be too easy. We need it easy, please. Right, we're going to grab both of these. It's back, can you tell? We're going to edit, and we're going to align it centrally, vertically, like that, right? And then we're going to edit, and we're going to group. Right, so we're now going to take 2 of these. So edit and duplicate. This is beautiful when it's done, honestly. I mean, that as itself, cut into your cardstock, is absolutely exquisite. And this is made from a border, right? Don't be scared of canvas. I was adamant. I was proper stubborn when I want to be. I'm probably the most stubborn person you would ever meet. I'm like a dog with a bone if something annoys me. And I wasn't going into canvas, and I didn't want to craft on a computer, and I was never going to do it. And now I live in there. I absolutely love it because it does everything that I need it to do. Right, we're going to press shift again. We're going to grab the other one, the outside one, and we're going to weld those 2 together. So edit and weld. Go on, you know you want to. Yes, look at that. How lovely is that? So you've got that. We're going to undo it. Right, so we're being asked how many SVG files. I can't tell you how many SVG files they're going to be because we haven't done them yet. But Stephanie said on Saturday, the minimum value of those SVG files will be £20. So it's not going to be one little shape. I know, Katie, but she put it out there. So now we've got to do it, kid. It's the way it is. You know what Stephanie's like? She's like, yep, we're going to do this. And it's her business. She's the boss. So it's up to her, right? So that's what's going to happen. So I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you what they're going to be. I can't tell you what size they're going to be. I can't tell you what we're going to make from them. But I can tell you that for £10 a month, where else could you go and have a class with a closed Facebook group, a direct email address to the person that's running the club, SVG files, a free craft clinic every month for £10? Yes, Andrew, but we wanted to make it affordable for everybody, honestly. So, there you go. That's what I can tell you. Right, so then you've got that beautiful panel that came from a single border. How fabulous is that? Isn't that lovely? Traditional tattered lace. And you can make it as big as you want. I wouldn't go much smaller than the actual size that you've already got on your plan. And if there are pieces that are too small, Canvas will remove them before it downloads it, which is super clever. So you could have this as a big piece. You could take it smaller. So if you work with the smaller border, you'll know that you're still within the restraints, but please don't take it down to kind of that sort of size, because it won't cut it. It'll draw it, it'll foil it, and it'll emboss it. And the paper piecing, Andrew, did you see the paper piecing? Paper piercing, oh, you missed out on that one. Sold out in 20 minutes. I spotted it in the warehouse and I was like, oh, we're having that on the show. And it literally sold out. So we are waiting for more stock. Right, so that's that one. Okay, I've saved it. So it's going to hurt me a little bit, but I can put it in the bin because I know I've got it. Right, let's have a look at this one now, shall we? Because we're going to do the same thing with this. And this is going to look completely different again. So let's ungroup them. What you will find with ScanNCut it is very repetitive. And repetition is the mother of all skill. So the more you do something, the easier it becomes. Right, so let's move that out of the way. See, you've got a border there again, right? We're going to delete that one. I've got a border there as well. I'm going to delete that. Right, let's work with this. So we're going to grab a row. Oh, I've just got a feeling of deja vu. That's weird. We're going to go to edit and we're going to group it together. Then we're going to grab this one and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to grab all those pieces. We're going to go to edit and we're going to group them together. And then we're going to bring them up towards each other. So to where we like the pattern, which is about there, I think. I'm going to grab both of this and we're going to align them centrally vertically. All right, so they're bang in the middle of each other. And then we're going to group it. So edit and group. We're going to duplicate it. And we'll go a little bit over because I do want to just show you this finished. Is that all right, Katie? She's like, yeah, go on then. Oh, Andrew's all right. He's like, oh, yeah, and I don't have to drive home. Read the room. That's my favourite phrase at the moment. Read the room. Right, so we're going to do a 2mm outward offset line again. We won't be that long, Katie, I promise. So there you go, all overlapped. We're going to grab it all and we're going to weld it. So edit and weld. And the reason that we can weld it is because then all the pieces are overlapping. If you wanted it to have a 1mm outward offset line, weld it like this and then create a 1mm inward offset line. Now those little dots that are going right through the centre of that border, the canvas will eliminate those before they're downloaded. So don't worry about that, it will do that for you. Right, let's see what this looks like when we layer them up. So we'll do, should we do 3 this time? Let's do 3. Let's really go for it. Ooh, this is exciting. It's interesting, isn't it, how creatives are all different. So Stephanie can look at something and instantly see a picture. I don't have that. If I close my eyes, it's black and there's no pictures. And she can't get over how I can do my job without pictures and colour. But what my talent is, whatever you want to call it, genetics, means that I can look at shapes or look at something and break it into shapes instantly. That for me just comes second nature. Right, so we're going to group this together. So edit and group. Right, we now need 3 of these. So you can see we're just doing the same thing as we did before, which is super cool. But what we're doing is taking that $22.99 download and we're making it even better value for money. And that's what we want, isn't it? As crafters, we're not bothered about spending our money. We're all right spending money. We're quite good at that. But what we want to do is make sure that we're getting the most out of it. And that's what that's what the club is all about. Getting the most out of your machine. Because I'm determined that everybody's going to get it out of the box. I'm sick of people coming to me at shows and going, I've got it, it's still in the box. I'm like, I don't want to hear that anymore. So we're going to press shift. We're going to pick up that offset. And we're going to pick up that offset. Go on you get. Go, go, go. That's it. And then we're going to weld those 3 together. So edit and weld. And then we've got, how beautiful is that? I mean, that doesn't look anything like the original border, does it? You've got that, and then you've got your offset. And then if we create an offset of that one, so duplicate it first so you can delete it, delete the original when you offset it, because that's the easiest way to do it. Otherwise you're fighting with all different lines. We're going to go to edit and we'll create a 2mm outward offset and delete the original because I've duplicated it. Okay, it's telling me it can't do that for some reason. So we've got 2. Let me see if I can divide it. So edit and divide. It might not let me divide it either. We might have got an overlap from when we might have an overlap somewhere from where we've built it. There's always a reason. Let's try a 1mm outward offset. Let's try that. Canvas Workspace is free, David. Yes, it is. Right, it's not going to let me do that on that one. Let's try 3 just to see. Let's try that. Outward and delete. No. All right, so somewhere in there, there's an intersecting path which we've created by doing the offsets. But still, if I align this now, sometimes we just have to accept that's the way it is. And we'll go edit and in here. And I will find that because it'll annoy me. But there is your other pattern. So it's super, super, super simple to, oh, I know why it is. It's because there's little tiny, tiny dots. So if you downloaded it, sent it down to your machine, it will eliminate those small pieces, sent it back into Canvas, it might do it. This is all the stuff that goes on in my head all the time. Right, are we going to spin the wheel? I'm just going to draw a winner. This card was going out to the first person this morning, so I'll send this one out with the whatever you win as well. Jackie Britton. Lovely. Let's spin the wheel, Jackie. If I get spin again one more time today. Number 10, 250 points. And that card. Right, Jackie, just messages, please, help@highlightcrafts.com, and we will sort those points out for you and get your details to be able to send this out. Massive thank you. Again, I'm so excited about this club. I can't tell you. Shop Club, £30 for 3 months. That's absolutely crazy. Don't forget to check out your baskets, because the sooner you check out your downloads, the sooner you can be crafting. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock for a midweek mayhem. Got all sorts of goodies on there. But Amanda and Lou are up at 8 o'clock with a rhinestone kit. I know, nothing to do with ScanNCut. Got its own little tool, its own little toolbox. It's very exciting. And don't forget to join myself and David at 12 when we launch the Cadence Club. Same price, same idea, but with Cadence. I will see you tomorrow morning. Have a lovely evening. Lots of love. Bye.